Alright, this is going to be a solo episode. If I can actually remember to actually edit this portion. Alright. Hello everybody, it is Danny T, Sponge Pimp, Danny Techaholic, any other name that you want to call me in general. This is something that I actually wanted to do about a week or two ago. I would say every 10 to 12 episodes I wanted to do a solo episode, especially when it came to obviously this channel, since I do mainly interviews, listening parties, and everything that has to be affiliated with 808.wave when I actually can, be present to any of these events that I'm actually in. But this is going to be probably updating stuff that I want to see in the community, possible predictions, as well as any guest call outs that I actually want to see. You could take a screen share or screenshot, or you can record this or do whatever you actually want to actually get the message to any of the people that I actually want to call out. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Small channel, but we're taking big steps every single upload on this channel, so make sure you subscribe for any future episodes for that. And also check out Spotify and my SoundCloud. Small plug, but Spotify when it comes to the episodes that are up on this channel, as well as my music, but majority the episodes that are on this channel specifically, because they are also on Spotify, if you didn't know that by now. If you know that, you can listen to it wherever you want, so I just threw it up on Spotify just so that it will be easier for anybody that wants to not watch the video and just listen to the audio. This is going to be the episode where I basically talk about future episodes, call outs, guest call outs for each and every single guest that I've had on previously, and also things that I personally want to see in the actual community as well. I feel like it could move a lot of producers a step closer or a step further in the future, especially when it comes to not just the funk community, but also overall the underground in general, because I'm a huge proponent of underground music in general. I've been a part of this community for as long as I can actually remember. Not just the funk community, but underground music is heavily slept on. Mainstream is not ready for us at all, even though it might look aesthetically clean right now. But I'm gonna just stop rambling with that and just get with the actual news or the actual updates that I want to have for this. So future episodes that I have in the works right now, I haven't edited these episodes, but they are in the making. A few months ago I did 2 episodes with Sorry Main and Caliber. Those are not edited right now, but those will be coming up in the future on this actual channel. It's about an hour in length for both of them, so it's a really nice listen for when those actually go live in the future. Hopefully in the next month, probably before July. I'm hoping that's actually possible. I definitely do want to say expect those 2 to actually be on the channel in the future in the next, I would say, month or 2. Those are really underrated people that I feel like are in the Europe scene as well as the US scene, or United States scene, basically, especially when it comes to the previous live events that have happened in the past couple of years, I would say. Guest call outs, and this is going to be a long list, and this is going to be its own thing. So if you hear your name, or if you hear the person that actually called you out, message them or get toe-to-toe with them, you could possibly do everybody a favor in general when it comes to both getting to know you as well as putting your discography on notice for anybody that doesn't know your name, whether you're an OG or an upcomer in the actual community, for the guest call outs. Basically guest call outs, and I'm going to start in order basically as much as I actually can. So for back when I actually had him, his call out was Everest. For Lil Rocket Man, he called out a lot of people. He called out specifically Ryan Celsius, Teddy Color, Sorry Main, which is going to be something that happens in the future already. The Crew with LaFunkery, Got No Time, Jason Rich. Those are all his call outs. For Ponsuda and anybody from Infinite Wave, specifically Slight Beats, any producer that specifically was in the 2016 era of funk in general when it comes to producing, or when it came to production in general. I would say any old members of AP, anybody from that generation of productions. Intius was a big person. I would say Ponsuda recommended him, Vaughn recommended him, I think Enocalypse also recommended him. For Freddie Confetti, he recommended one only person, which was Nicky Slime. I hope I can actually get that in the future. I think he also recommended Roland Jones specifically when he actually met him. For the Funk Around crew, they recommended Ponsuda, which I already got when it came to the Infinite Wave crew. They also recommended Cloudbug. It's really difficult to actually get in contact with him, but if he's actually down to do that, I'd be more than happy to actually do that with him. If Cloudbug's actually able to do that, which I know he likes his privacy a lot, I feel like it would be an awesome conversation because he's been in the underground for a really, really long time and he's heavily underrated. Caliber, which is also something that's going to happen with the Funk Around crew. Everybody that I haven't interviewed when it came to the actual Phonk Around and Find Out residents when it comes to that agency overall. For Local Stranger, it's the Masterminds collective. Again, for Local Stranger, he also wanted Spaced, but this is specifically, he wants him to start DJing to actual live sets or actual live events when it comes to the Phonk community in general. Bad Kids, he also recommended Got No Time, Sage Beats, anybody from the French scene, as well as the La Funkery crew. And this is my personal one, and I'm calling them out right now. Anybody in the European scene that knows these two, if you can actually get them on an actual conversation together, it doesn't matter how good the setup or how bad the setup is. If I can get Rob Gigma and No Sauce on a singular episode or a single video, because they're the homies in general, that's all I gotta say. But I feel like they're hella underrated. They're growing very rapidly, especially with all the collabs that they're doing in the future and the ones that they've already done right now that are public or private or whatever they're hiding on their hard drive basically right now. But those are all the call outs. For the main channel update and the second channel update, AMVs will still be posted on the channel every month whenever I actually have music to actually post on there. Normal main channel videos and ideas are in the works in terms of news, tutorials, snippets, tour vlogs. Tour vlogs are gonna go public this month, especially when it came to the previous Baltimore show. I'm hoping I can actually find any Denver footage that I actually still have. The reason I haven't been able to actually post that is because I've been extremely busy outside of work when it came to personal stuff in general, which I really don't want to get into right now. Also, gear and getting started in production. I've seen this question so many times on the Reddit server when it came to the Phonk community in general. Gear, what's the gear that you start with? Even though if you're a producer, you know you need a laptop, you need a DAW, which is either Logic, FL Studio, or Ableton. But this question gets asked so many times, it's kind of mundane, and I just want to make a video or something that is a step 1 to maybe step 5 or 6 series in general when it comes to that, because this question gets asked so many times and people do not know a video, or there are people that don't have a video that want to know how to get started. And I feel like this could definitely be a way to actually help people get started on either production or no face to name, where the video can basically be sent just like in like the matter of like 5 or 10 seconds. Second channel uploads are going to be every 2 to 3 weeks in terms of guest episodes and interviews. Beat battle recaps will go live the week after every single one of them happen, and that also includes the listening parties. I know listening parties last maybe like an hour or two longer than I would say normal beat battles. I would say main channel, second channel schedule. When it comes to that, I already said that for the second channel. Main channel content, I'm hoping to actually get restarted because it's been a long time since I've actually uploaded something that isn't music oriented on my main channel. There will be future clip drops of the podcast on a third channel, which is basically going to be something titled maybe Danny T Clips in general. I'm hoping to actually get that started, as well as have that up on TikTok and Instagram in the future as well. And speaking of that, other platforms, I talked about Spotify earlier. These episodes on this channel, excluding all of the listening parties and everything that has to deal with the beat battle, because that's its own alias of 808.wave. Any of the full video episodes that you see with any of the guests that I actually have in the previous months that I've actually started this channel in general, when it came to having guests on here, having different artists and producers be on here in general, that is going to also be on Spotify under Danny T Podcast, and it's going to be probably like one of the first links that you'll see in the description box below. But all those future episodes, if you don't want to actually watch the actual video, you can listen to that on Spotify. They're all live right now, with the exception of anything that's going to be exclusively only on Spotify and possibly Patreon in the future. And speaking of Patreon, there are going to be behind the scenes snippets of actually how I was able to schedule these videos, how I edit these videos, and do everything that I actually do on Patreon in the future. And I'm just going to be transparent right now. That money is going to be going towards my editing software, as well as me being able to travel more. I want to be as transparent as possible so that I can actually get to these live events and actually show you guys how far this community has actually gone. And I'm being completely honest, that's literally where all the money has gone towards when it comes to like making revenue, basically me being able to travel everywhere that I can actually go when it comes to Denver shows, Baltimore shows, DC shows, Atlanta shows, hopefully in the future Chicago, everywhere in America and possibly even Europe. That revenue is going, I'm being so transparent when I say this, that revenue from Patreon is going straight towards traveling so I can actually meet more people, possibly have a lot more when it comes to both content on the main channel and this channel as well. So that's all I gotta say. Except for SoundCloud, there's a possibility that I'm I'm going to be starting a new channel when it comes to, what's the word? There's going to be a slight possibility that all of the episodes are going to be thrown up there in complete audio version. Same thing like how I did Spotify earlier. There's basically going to be another platform where I throw all of the episodes on there if anybody wants to listen to them. Just want to get myself on as many platforms as I possibly can to both get names out there as well as my name out there, but preferably anybody that I have as a guest or have as a co-host when it comes to these videos in general. And TikTok, I know people are really against TikTok, but I feel like even though there are a lot of news articles when it comes to banning TikTok or whatever anybody wants to say in general, and I keep doing this with my hand, and I'm gonna stop doing this in the next minute or two. TikTok will be going back up. I know if you are a listener or a viewer of any of the actual videos that I actually have on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or even YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, I think that's what the actual name is right now. But with that being said, Instagram Reels and TikTok are going to become more of a priority, especially during the summer, because I do want to get that ball rolling again, because I kind of slowed down and I did more long form content. So time to get back to short form content and actually have that be another tree branch of this channel and this brand that I'm trying to create in general when it comes to this community, as well as also other artists and other producers in general. That's all the updates. And here are a few things that I do want to say. Firstly, shout out Yokai for actually having me on his actual channel this last week or so. Just want to say thanks for that. I do want to say he did, I think it was one episode where he was like, there's a Holy Mob and Purple Posse collaboration that actually he did artwork for. And I actually, surprisingly, I'm gonna go this way. So this is the actual artwork. And I just want to say, if you guys can actually get that collab completed, and if you guys actually get that done in the next like year or two, I know it's a lot of logistical work when it comes to both collaborating with other people from different collectives in general. But like I said earlier, it's possible. Nothing's impossible in this community, because Masterminds and Center Circle just dropped a collab tape together. And I just want to say, I haven't listened to it, but everybody is really like putting it on their feed in the last week or two. And I just want to say shout out to both those collectives, because I don't have my Mastermind shirt on right now, but I've been a huge fan or promoter of Masterminds collective in general. In Center Circle, I'm on the Discord almost every single couple weeks, maybe every month or so. They've been nothing but friendly to me, and I want to give a shout out to both of them. But like I said, if there's a Purple Posse and a Holy Mob tape that's ever to happen, I feel like that artwork would be really awesome. If you want to update it, that's also cool, but I feel like that's a nice little teaser for anybody that is like, oh, there could be a cool Purple Posse and Holy Mob collab, or maybe something to happen with the new generation of AP. That's also something in works. I know it might be a weird topic to talk about, but you know, never say never, obviously. That's all I gotta say for that. There's one thing that I do want to say. So Tangage and Hydra have just released a new song. I'm actually gonna pull it up right now on my second monitor, which is basically Ain't It Obvious. And they are, well, Hydra right now is by far one of my favorite when it comes to the underground scene, when it comes to bar for bar and being unique. Has a different flow, has a different sound, has a different tone in general. Hydra and Tangage by far underrated, even though the followers are like, oh, they're hella overrated, but be so for real. This style, this flow is completely different from what people would normally hear. And I'm just saying this right now, there's something big for them in the future. If they know it or not, if I were able to get Hydra or Tangage on an actual video, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people that are very hesitant when it comes to interviews in general, and I know that for a fact, because there are a lot of people that I also want to interview on here or have a guest on any of these videos. Example, Loud Lord, Cloudbug. Those are many examples of people that I feel like might be hesitant on actually doing stuff like this. But if it were to happen, that'd be a big step for producers to be able to come out their shell, be more public, come out to more shows, hang out with more people in general, and overall make the scene a much more desirable place. Desirable? I feel like I said that right. Desirable place for new producers and new DJs and new content creators. It'll make people feel more comfortable in general, because I know this is an online scene. This is a heavily influenced internet genre in general, and if we're able to make other people comfortable when it comes to both producing, making content, when it comes to anything that has to do with just getting the name or getting your name out there, that will make everybody's life a lot easier. Not just my life, because I'm not the only person that actually makes content or makes music in this community, but it'll make everybody's life a lot easier. But that's all I have to say. I hope I didn't ramble as much as I normally do. This is going to be something that I'm going to update every 10 to 12 episodes, so you won't see my face. You'll probably see somebody else's face on the next actual video that I actually post on this second channel. This is where I'm at right now. I hope you guys actually enjoy this video. This is a long road ahead of everybody. This is only the first 6 months of 2024, and I'm excited for the next 6 months of 2024 in general when it comes to both live scenes, DJ exclusives, or DJ mixes in general, and just more live sets in general. Like I said earlier, it's only the first 6 months of this year. Let's just get this next 6 months in the next show on the road. So, oh, by the way, for anybody that I talked about in the Yokai video, for anybody that missed the Yokai episode, these are all the call outs that I actually had for different shows that are happening in the next month or two, especially mine that's actually happening next July. And there's also 3 different events that are happening in Rhode Island, 2 happening in Texas when it comes to Infinite Wave, and 1 that's happening in Rhode Island for Phonk and Find Out. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but those are the main 3 or main 4 that actually that are happening in the United States right now. So if you want to go check those out, links will be in the description box below to buy your tickets or to actually get to the website so you can actually buy your tickets possibly. And also shout out to everybody that actually put me on to the actual community. Thank you anybody from Phonk Around and Find Out, Infinite Wave. Shout out to Corey, Wasabi, and Imperium for Phonk Around and Find Out, and anybody that I actually interviewed in the last half a year or last year or so. That's all I gotta say, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Sponge Pimp out. Oh man, 20 minutes is really making my head light as hell right now.